When in Hayle, we have to get a pasty from Hampson's. Pasty procured. Welcome everyone to another episode of theBriceSide. Today we are in Hayle. No particular game plan. We're just gonna have a little mooch round. It's a very windy day today. It's a lot windier than it was back home. So we've got the old Foundry to check out, the mill pond, and just up through the town a little bit. So let's go check it out. No opportunity to drink it up here. Okay, nice little wooded area. Nice little wooden bridge across this river. Yeah, the woodland's quite pretty. I like that. There is quite a lot of historic industry in Hayle, so it'll be quite interesting to see what sort of remnants of that past still exists. So Hayle, back in the day, did used to be quite a significant port area for importing and exporting goods in and out of Cornwall. But that all changed when the railways came. The need to transport goods by sea waned because it was more cost effective to haul it all down by train. So from an industrial point of view, Hayle really declined with the advent of the railways. What a nice walk. Do you know what? I've been to Hayle many times. Many times. But I've never actually done this walk. It's quite lovely. Yeah. Wow, look at this structure. Fantastic. Yeah, look at that. You can still see that wooden lintel that goes across to support the window. It's a very large window. It's huge. Must be like 12 feet tall. Fascinating. And actually moving on, there's a lot more. Oh yeah, look at all this. I wonder what this was. Obviously something to do with the Foundry. There was a rope factory here. So I wonder if it had anything to do with that. Obviously some bars here, just for safety. Let me out! Well, right across the way there's a tennis court. Hopefully we'll find some information as we go. So on the left now, you can see the mill pond peeking through the trees. We'll have a clearer look at that in a minute. Now I think all the foundry in this area was built in the 1770s, so the architecture looks right, so this could well date to that time. It's like 240 years ago. And that would predate the railways coming to Hayle. Oh yeah, look at these arches, look at this. Like a bricked up window. This is awesome. It's like a ghostly shell of what was. Here we go. Here we go. We've got some info. All right. I'm going to read it first. So there we go. Harvey's Foundry. So we probably came at it in reverse. So I think if we had started in this area, we would have seen this information first. So Harvey's Foundry Rope Works, 1779 to 1916. Okay, so here we go. So we thought it was the 1770s, and it closed. So it was functioning for quite a long time, up until the First World War. So in 1779, John Harvey, a blacksmith from Carnhell Green, established a small foundry and engineering works in the area known as Hayle Foundry to supply the mining industry. This soon flourished into Harvey & Co. Foundry, who produced the finest beam engines in the world, as well as Cornish boilers, mine equipment of all description, together with Richard Trevithick's road and rail steam engines, ships, and many more inventions. How about that? The adjacent rope works were possibly in operation a few years earlier, associated with the tin smelting works at Melanier, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and built along the banks of the stream that ran into the harbour. This stream was navigable on the tide and originally supplied the smelting works and rope walks, and no doubt supplied water power as well. Excellent. Look at him, he doesn't look like he's having a good day. That looks very strenuous. Alright. So that's a little bit of information. And actually up on the wall here, look. So the Hayle Town Trust. First Mayor project and restoration of the hammer mill and ropery, and creation of the Woodland Rope Walk, April 23rd, 1989. Alright, that is very cool. Excellent, so moving away from that now, we're in this little open area. There is a little kiddies play park over there, a little small one, just some slides and a little swing. I won't film too much there because there's a little baby playing. Alright, nailed it. I'm so glad when we find stuff out like that. Walking through that structure, I was thinking now, obviously it is to do with the old foundry, but what the heck was it? Now we know. There's another placard here. Hayle Town Trust Amphitheatre Project 1995, part funded by the Rural Development Commission and Partners in Hayle Action Team. Gosh, can you imagine? This is really quite a tranquil place actually. I know it's a little bit windy, but actually it's very quiet, peaceful. Can you imagine this in its heyday? Gosh, the level of noise and the industry and all the men that would have worked here. It's pretty wild to think about. Right, so we're on the road. If you carry on in that direction, you get to St Michael's Hospital, and a little bit farther on you get to Paradise Park, which we frequent quite often. If you want to see those videos of Paradise Park, we'll put a link in the description down below. So this is the mill pond now. Looking back into the former foundry. Ducks drive slowly. Another view of the mill pond with the foundry beyond. Some like guardrails here so that you can't just fall in, which is good. That's a very nice home. So there's a little bench up here. Again, there's a mill pond, back up by the foundry now. Good to know. Right, so we're back in that foundry now, in that little green area, which is lovely. And you know what? I think I'm going to sit on that bench and enjoy my pasty. Well, the sun's very bright. I might have to get the shades. That's a good pasty. highly recommend Hampson's. Just there in Foundry Square. Yeah. Oh, look at that pasty goodness. Just... yeah. I've just stepped back inside the Foundry and I've just seen this little plaque that says the Brass Foundry, part of the Harvey and Co.'s Penpole Foundry. Now the Penpole, I think, is the river. It produced ship and church bells and other brass objects. It marks the start of the Rope Walk Nature Trail. So this section of the Foundry was where they produced the brass. That is awesome. That was one of the best bought pasties I have ever had. I cannot recommend Hampson's of Hayle enough. If you want a good pasty, get a Hampson's. Alright, moving on. Talking about pasties, that's for smaller Philps. Right there, outside the old Foundry. Now I'm going to just cross the street a minute because where all these newer buildings have been constructed, I think this road up on our left, we should see some more of Hayle's industrial past. Yeah. Look at that. Harvey's Foundry Complex. So, all linked in with the Foundry that is on the other side of those houses. I almost fell over. Right by the Booker Wholesale. Look at this! Now this is all gated off. So they obviously don't want you poking around inside. I mean, it might be unstable, etc. But let's see if we can walk around the perimeter a little bit. Obviously a newer structure built on the top. Wow. Look at this. This is huge. Look at that, like, iron support. Must be something to do with the roof structure. You can see like the remnant of an archway going that way, obviously gone. So off in the distance there is the train tracks, just over on that bridge at Viaduct. So this area now looks like it's used for parking for the wholesalers there. Oh, and look at this. So this looks like it's the same vintage as that, but this has been redeveloped. Look, this is all now like apartments or something like that. Oh, it says a pattern shop. Oh, maybe it's not apartments. I was hoping that was going to be a plaque to give us a bit more information, but it's been torn off by the look of it. But while we're here, here's a really good look of the underside of the train viaduct. With some development going on that side. Wow, see that iron structure that supports the wood beams. That's awesome. A bit of graffiti here, someone's left their mark. Someone there wants to be taken home. To me, Hayle is it's a funny town. I don't mean that in an offensive way, but Hayle, it's like long. You know, like towns have like a town centre, that type of thing. You've obviously got a Foundry Square here, but I don't know. If you know Hayle, you know what I mean. It's just a long town. So I wonder if this old factory wonder if this section will be redeveloped in the future, or whether they will just let it be time and tide. Okay, so heading back out to the main street. That is quite an amazing structure, the White Hart Hotel. There's a date stamp up there. 1838. That's an impressive facade. Oh, bus. All right. (1845), the old Foundry Chapel. So obviously not used as a place of worship anymore. Vintage, artisan and specialist shops. 1845. Little window there where you can get some food. No, food is something I don't need after that lush pasty. But what I didn't have in my bag is a beverage. Might have to see if I can find a beverage, I'm kind of thirsty. It's another great view of the train viaduct. My goodness! Now this is a relic. You do not see these hardly anywhere. I think, you know, I think that still works. That is amazing. A sign stating that you go up there to get to the station. And we're going to walk underneath the viaduct now, carry on our way. Little shops on the right hand side, selling their wares. That's a hospice shop, always a good cause. Right, beverage procured in that little convenience store. Nice. So that's where I bought my beverage, and heading down, just for a bit of wayfinding now, the train tracks are behind us. So we're now heading this way. Here is Hayle's memorial to Rick Rescorla. So Cyril Richard Rick Rescorla, born Hayle, 1939, died in New York, 2001. Rick gave his life in the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center, New York, September 11th, 2001. While directing the evacuation, his actions on the day saved over 2,700 lives. Greater love hath no man. American flag there, Old Glory, along with some military honours. He was an ex-military man. Here we go, that's to Rick. Just a couple of boats tied up along the quay. Not the most impressive of seafaring vessels, but nonetheless, cute. So another placard here, Hayle, the town that changed the world. Like I said, there was a lot of industry here. Isambard Kingdom Brunel, with his trademark cigar. The SS Cornubia. There was a pub called the Cornubia around the way. A Crimean siege mortar. Nice. And of course, Richard Trevithick. Huh. All right. Moving on. What is this? Looks like a piece of art made of wood. Oh, it's a person. Oh, I see, okay. All right. We're toward the mouth of the harbour now. Whoa, my goodness. I'm just putting my hand over the microphone just to see if I can stop that wind a little bit. But we are now at the mouth of the harbour area. So we've walked that length. We're a little bit backlit with the sun there, looking back towards Asda and the rail viaduct. And over there is the larger Philps shop. Again, you will get a good pasty in Philps. Let's just cut through the car park. So there's a little seating area outside of that Philps if you want to enjoy your pasty there. And just across the way from Philps, we've got another disused building, maybe a previous factory of some kind. I don't know what it was. I think the glare of the window, I don't think this is going to quite work out. No. Standing here in this little boatyard, actually, this is quite interesting. Look at this old boat. I think she's been out of water for a few years. I don't know if she would be structurally sound. I wouldn't want to put to sea in her, that's for sure. But look at all the workings here. Look at the rudder and the propeller. That's awesome. Right, let's go and pick up King George's Walk. So you can pick up the coast path here to Bwithian. I didn't know that. Right, let's make our way across this old structure. Nice little view across the estuary. Not just King George, but King George V. Another boat there, well, half a boat, being used as a planter. Just a little bit less wind would be nice. Somebody's planted a Christmas tree there. And there's a bauble on it. A little bit out of season, but I like that. Do you know, on a sunny day, what a very nice walk. I highly recommend it. Wouldn't recommend it so much on a stormy day. Oh, there's like a pond in there, look, with like a hose with some water coming in. Pleasant. Oh, this is quite cool. This touch and scented garden for the visually impaired was created by Hayle Flower Club to celebrate the millennium. Huh. Some little braille bits there. Oh, this is quite nice. Oh yeah, and I can smell the flowers. Oh yeah, there's a strong aroma of the flowers in here. That's neat. It's like a little pond over here. Little fishies in there. Alright, it's like a greenhouse here. And some artwork created by the Rainbow Fish class at Driggy Academy. Oh, I like him. Yeah. It's a nice little cottage to live in. So on the other side of the estuary is Hayle town. It just keeps going on and on, because like I said, Hayle's a very long town. Like a little otter. And like a crane or some form of bird. What are these? They look like big sluice gates, like part of a dock that have been removed and are now here against this wall along the walkway. Yeah, look at those. Wow. Wish there was a little bit of information. I can't see a placard anywhere, but you can see that they were gates, obviously. I mean, look, two of them. Chain hanging down there. There's like the hinge thing. That's amazing. The Copperhouse Pool Sluice Gates. In 1789, the Cornish Copper Company installed sluice gates to assist in keeping the harbour waters navigable. Sluicing proved successful and continued until about 1980. These gates, made of greenheart wood, considered best for marine environments, were installed around 1956. They were removed in 1982 and replaced by the current flood control system. Huh. That's really neat. They look a lot older than the 1950s. And actually they only served for 30 plus years. This would be quite nice, all lit up at night. There's some more homes here now. I bet they cost a bob or two. Okay, we did it. We reached the other end. The public footpath does continue on in that direction, but we're not going to go too much further today. I'm just going to explore down this way. It's another footpath which will lead to an old bridge. So let's go check that out. I think it's getting windier. Difficult because of the sun, but actually looking back where we've just walked, it's quite a beautiful view. Impressive. Most impressive. So we're coming up on that old bridge that will take you across the estuary. Looks kind of old. Let's just branch off the trail a minute just to get a shot of this bridge. Yeah. That's seen some years. I wish there was a date stamp on it. I'd be interested to know how old this bridge is. Can't see one though. Oh, we've done it. We have found some information on this bridge. The Black Bridge, built by the Cornish Copper Company in 1818 of smelter waste, scoria, blocks. Huh. The concrete sluices on the upstream side were used during World War II to impound water for firefighting. Ah, so were those... Yeah, look at those blocks. They were added in World War II to impound water. Love it. Love information. That's awesome. I was chatting to a resident who explained that when this bridge was built, right in the centre of frame there is the vicarage. And the vicar owned a little boat, a punt. And he insisted that when this was built, one of the arches was bigger so that he could sail through down to the town so that he could still get his collection. That's awesome. That's why there's, apparently, that's why there's one large arch and one small, so the vicar could sail through. We're going to leave the video there. I hope you enjoyed it. It was super fun making. Do give it a big thumbs up. Do subscribe to theBriceSide. It really does help the channel grow. Hit the notification bell and you'll never miss out on any video that we put up. We are on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at theBriceSide, so check us out there. So from us to you, cheers and gone.